I don't like talking about shit like this, but I need to get this out here, and I heard you people like these kind of stories. I won't say my name. I don't need this connected to me. But you want me to get to the point now, don't you? I saw something outside of the window on one of my flights. I've taken many trips for years while working for my company. I'm American, but the company I work for has hundreds of locations across the world. This specific trip was me flying from New York to Germany. The flight time was around 8 hours long. The flight was set to leave at 8 p.m. on a Saturday night. God must have been watching Marley and me or some shit, because it was raining to the point my shoes were clogging up with the rainwater. I got into the airport on time, thanks to the Uber I called for. She was a pretty nice lady from what I remember. Didn't say much besides have a good day and stay safe. Boarding was normal. It did take a while to get in despite being in first class. The whole flight was actually paid for by one of my superiors. Unlike some other higher-ups, the guy was super nice to me. However, I sadly cannot give his name and the deserved credit for all he's done for me. At least not here. The first class had 2 people besides myself aboard. Overall, the flight had very few people. I believe the plane could hold like over 70 people in the economy class. However, this flight had about 30 to 40 people. I sat on the right side of the first class lane with no one around me. I sat right next to the window. Not because I like the view, I just like using the wall as a place to prop up a pillow. I was planning on listening to an audiobook of Elton John's autobiography and hopefully falling asleep after an hour of listening. Not because of the book's contents. The reading in general helps me sleep. It was about half an hour after takeoff when I first saw something. Or, to rephrase, I didn't really see anything. Or, I don't know. I just remember I was about to doze off when something caught my eye outside. At this point, the sky was still dark, and a cluster of gray clouds were forming around the plane. It looked like a thunderstorm was about to break. But I was jolted awake when I thought I saw something move in the dark heights below me. I turned my book off and peered further. We were traveling over the sea at this point, so the road below was a deep, ink-black void. I don't have any phobias, not of heights or the dark. But that view alone was a little chilling. I continued peering into the gray clouds. That's when I caught another slight crack into the cloud's formation. Something was moving inside of the growing storm. Part of me wanted to call over the flight attendant or one of the other class passengers to help me spot whatever it was, but I honestly didn't want to feel stupid if we failed to see anything in the messy canvas of gray and black that was the skyline. I continued looking into the clouds as we passed, and I caught another movement. I peered into its origin, and I was confused. Between the clouds was a small orange glow. It stayed motionless, a tiny dot in gray like a thumbtack on a board. I took out my phone with the hopes of using the camera's zoom to get a somewhat better look at the orange point. And as I was getting my phone out, I realized that the point wasn't motionless. If it was, we would have passed it by now. Instead, it continued to stay perpendicular from the plane. I trusted in my phone that the camera truly had a high enough quality to give me a good look of whatever it was glowing like that. Putting my phone to the window, I zoomed the image closer and closer to light. As I got closer, my curiosity began to slowly turn to confusion and a little fear. My phone did luckily have good quality to get a good image of the light in the clouds. I didn't take a picture though. I know that sounds stupid, but I was too busy trying to study my screen and what I saw. First thing I noticed was the light wasn't just orange. There were yellow lines that started from the edges and stretched towards the center. The lines branched into smaller segments before eventually fading. But in the center of the object was a pale white circle. Before I could put the picture together, the light disappeared, but within a second, it returned. As I looked through my phone camera again, the full realization of what I was looking at hit me like a semi. I saw the center moving slowly, scanning the plane. It was a goddamn eye. And some basic conclusions made me realize that the eye had to belong to something hiding in the clouds. As if to answer, the lightning kicked in. I could see the darkened silhouette of a massive form coiled up in the storm. For the few seconds, I didn't catch much. The creature's body was long and spindly, like a snake's. I didn't see an end to it. It almost seemed to be infinite in length. With the last bit of light, I could see a set of massive fangs outlined underneath the orange eye. A kid in the economy must have seen it, cause I could hear the screaming of a child. There's something big and scary outside the window, I heard her screech. The entire back of economy just seemed to ignore her, but another flash of lightning sparked, and the titanic body of the creature was traced by the shining streaks of burning light. Her mother must have seen it too now, as I heard her screams for help. Multiple people were clamoring as the mother yelled that something was outside. It was huge. Panic hadn't set in me yet. I tried to reason with myself that the thing in the clouds wasn't interested in the plane. If it wanted to kill us, it would have already. Or maybe it liked playing with its food. Another flash of lightning broke the sky, and I realized while I was paying attention to the commotion out back, I had stopped using my phone to monitor the eye. As the lightning faded, I turned and saw the orange eye was gone. I relaxed a bit, like my mind had said it wasn't haunting us. I turned outside as two more bright bangs of electricity lit up the sky. And I saw a tail slithering above the plane. In sheer panic, I braced myself for the beast's massive jaws to come crashing into the plane. My mind produced images of all the innocent people in this flying coffin falling either into the deep depths of the sea below or the endless maw of the monster above. I had closed my eyes at this point. I felt the plane suddenly shake violently. I heard a splattering sound above me. Opening my eyes, I tried to look out the window and saw only red. I was confused, but I realized the red on my window was dripping as the wind began picking it up. It was blood. I could see the blood stained all the way to the tips of the wing. A loud bellow pierced the sky. Sweet Jesus. It came from the other side of the first class. It was this old dude and he was staring out his window. I noticed his side didn't have any decor of blood-stained glass panes, and I rushed to his side and looked out the window. I just barely caught the end of a long, gray serpentine tail as it sunk into the dark waters below. I saw the water crash upwards as the monster sank deeper into the water. Later, I tried to talk to the man if he saw more of it, but he wouldn't say anything. I think he wanted to pretend it didn't happen. All passengers were given compensation for the shaky ride and unexpected conditions. The blood was chalked up to a bird flock getting caught in the storm. I didn't sleep at all during the rest of the flight. Hell, I was nearly late to my first meeting because I slept in late once I got to my hotel. I haven't told many people in my personal life about what happened. I did tell my boss, who didn't really believe me, of course. He did mention, though, that he's heard of weird stories about monsters in the sea all the time. But whatever I saw could fly or somehow managed to stay floating in the sky. It moved over my flight and it ate something, or maybe it hurt itself. From what I heard, the blood was washed off after being dismissed as a lot of unlucky seagulls, so we can't really figure out what the blood belonged to. Now, I'm not telling anyone to stop taking international flights, but please consider not taking nighttime flights. I still don't know whether or not that thing would have eaten us if whatever it did take wasn't there. It makes it hard to sleep. I still have those images of falling into its mouth, the endless chasm that would be its throat and stomach consuming me slowly. But I also want to know one more thing. If I'm alone. Of course there's the other people on the flight, but I doubt I'll be able to find them anytime soon. But if anyone has seen giant eyes or a massive silhouette in the clouds, please tell me. I gotta know if there's more of them out there hiding in the clouds, watching for more prey with those orange eyes.